Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, June 5th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, MSTY, SMCY, and PLTY. But before we get to all of that, we got some company. We got new competition in the works, or not in the works anymore, actually. Just launched yesterday. Rex Shares, new fund, MSII, MS2, MSII, MS, whatever the heck we're going to call it. It's out. It launched yesterday. It's called Rex MSTR Growth and Income ETF. So again, we'll say this is competition to MSTY, although it's a little different, than MSTY. It's not the exact same strategy. Because they have, if you look, different objective, right? Their objective is half of the MSTR exposure that they do have will be uncapped, in order to capture some upside potential, hopefully, if MSTR goes up, obviously. And then half of it will be for weekly income, right? Via covered call strategy. And if you notice, it says weekly income. So that's a little different too. They're going to pay every single week, and I believe they're going to pay every Wednesday, which is a little different as well, because I don't even think there's many funds that pay on the Wednesday, and that is a big thing to a lot of you out there, and I do understand that. So it looks here, before feet. So yeah, I'm going to click the fact sheet, actually, because that has some stuff here. So it says, if you look, I saw that 1.25x, in the... right in the middle, but you can see right below it, it says it targets 1.25x daily exposure to MSTR. And then it says, obviously, in accordance with investment objective, the actual leverage may result between 1.05x to 1.5x. So the exposure is actually going to be a little more than 1 times MSTR, which is pretty cool. I mean, their goal, I guess, is 1.25x. So that's, again, a little different, a little interesting. Kind of reminds me of MST in a way, right? MST is, I believe, 1.5x exposure on that side, but I don't know. We'll see. But again, they launched yesterday. Expense ratio, same as the others, 0.99%. Let me go back to the website. The holdings are there. It does show holdings now. Launch price was $25. Let's see. There's the schedule. It's weekly, obviously. And then I just wanted to show you the holdings. So no need to click it because this is all of them. But I think I was wondering, people were probably wondering, how are they going to hold MSTR? And it looks like they're going to hold it via synthetic because I see a buy, call, sell, put, same strike, same, well, they don't have number of contracts. Hopefully they can add that if they're listening. But yeah. It looks like they're going to hold a synthetic position and then sell calls on that position, or at least 50% of it. How are they going to do 1.25x? I don't know. I didn't get that far. I didn't really read the prospectus. Obviously, I should. I know. I need to get back into doing that. Baseball season's pretty much over. We have like 1 or 2 more weeks, and I'm going to try to do more time. There's so many damn funds out. And I do need to do a deep dive, not only for myself, but for you guys too, into the prospectus again. I do enjoy that. Obviously reading through many, many pages sucks, but, it's just the good stuff. I just read the good stuff. All right, I think that's it. So that's it with MS. We'll call it MS2. I don't know. What are we calling this? We got to figure out a cool name. But again, it's an interesting fund. I did send out a little tweet yesterday for the first people who responded. They're going to get, hopefully at some point, a MS2 shirt. So, shout out to Rex Shares. Shout out to Scott McKenna for always being, the swag man. It's all about the swag. So, go check this fund out. And, let me know what you think in the comments. All right. I had to talk about that fund because... Again, that's big news, right? we're all about MSTR pretty much. Everyone watching this video is about MSTR, Bitcoin for the most part. Oh, breaking news. U.S. stock futures rise with rally set to continue and S&P 500 aiming at 6,000. All right, that's good stuff. All right, let's close out this stuff here and let's just read the pre-market and then we'll get moving, man. All right, here we go. All right, Tesla is down. Well, that does not look green. What happened? What happened, Tesla? They are down 1.66%, 326.56. TSLY is down 1.56%. Nvidia is down as well, 0.05%. Nvidia is up 0.12%. Coin is up 0.36%. CONY's up 0.62%. M to the S to the T to the R is up 0.18%. MSTY is up 0.24%. T to the S to the L is down 3.35%. TNA is up 0.72%. Good. At least one of my two are up. Anyway, Bitcoin is down 0.18%. BitX is down 0.55%. Suxel is up 1.73%. SMCI is down 0.29%. SMCY is not updated, or it's flat, one or the other. I didn't look at the time. Palantir, oh yeah, by the way, the time is 5:12 a.m. Little kind of late start. I wanted to get a little jump today because it's commute day. But again, I suck and I hit snooze twice because I don't know, man. I'm struggling lately to get up at 4 a.m. It's like, damn, 4:20 is like my wake up time lately. Anyway, Palantir is down 0.38%. PLTY is up 0.22%. UPRO is up 0.41%. And TQQQ is up 0.39%. So indexes are up. The various funds that we look at are kind of down, up, all around. But we'll see. Again, it's pre-market. Who cares? Let's wait till the market opens. All right, let's get to the funds, guys. Here we go. Who had trades? TSLY had trades. Decent amount of trades yesterday. Nvidia had trades. Who else, suckers? Who else? MSTY had trades. Okay, cool. Who else? Anyone? SMCY had trades. I was scrolling down. Look at this. Berksey, is that their ticker? I didn't even know. Berksey's got some trades. Obviously, the newest of the covered call ETFs. So I'm gonna have to add that. I don't even know what group they're in, honestly. I'll have to add them to my spreadsheet before I do this weekend update for the guesstimates. But anyway, heading back over to MSTY. Let's see what they're doing. See what they got going on. You know, they always have a lot of trades. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's expected. It's a beast of a freaking beast, man. It is a beast. So you know what? I'm going to annoy the crap out of you again and say, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. All right? Take a moment and hit the like button. What does that do? I don't know. Something good for the channel. All right, so what did MSTY do? Buy, call, sell, put. Buy, call, sell, put. All right, adding new money into the fund. And then what? Buy to close. All right, they're closing positions, opening new positions. And then what? Buy, call, sell, put. But oh my goodness, all this new money into the fund. What is going on? Well, yesterday was what? Declaration date. So people that bought in yesterday qualify for the distribution paid on Friday. So, well, of course, they would have had to hold until today. Today is ex-dividend date. But yeah, so basically, long story short, lots of new money coming in, some closeouts for the weeklies, and yeah, let's get to the file. MSTY. We lost we had a playoff game yesterday in rec baseball. We lost, unfortunately. But at the same time, there's a little relief, right? The rec season is over, so you can, one less thing to worry about. But then there's travel, then there's All-Stars, then there's this, then there's that. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. So what synthetic did they add to? Again, yesterday was June 4th, so obviously they did not add to this synthetic. This is the 390. This expires on June 20th, and MSTR is 3% under that, but that expires in 16 days, so they got some time. The 420, they definitely didn't touch this one. This one's 10% away, also expires in 16 days, so we'll see what happens with that one. This again, there's two 370s. And I was on a oh my God, a Twitter Spaces, whatever they call it, X Spaces yesterday. I asked Jay why they opened these two positions. Oh yeah, shout out to Wolf Financial. They run a Spaces every Wednesday at noon. They have Jay and Mike on there. So if you ever want to try to get on there and ask a question or a comment or throw something in the comments, feel free to join. I try to join because it's during lunch, so it's a little easier for me. But anyway, I try to ask like why they had the two 370s. He said a different prime or something like that. He explained it, but I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me. I was just curious. But there was a reason, and he, threw out some terms. I'm like, okay, works for me. Anyway, June 4th, what the hell? Yeah, they added, look at this. They added to the 370. So they added to the 370 that expires July 18th. So they chose the one with the further expiration, okay? All right, sound good? Great, wonderful. And they added 1,000 plus another 2,000 plus another 2,800 and plus another 2,800. So are you kidding me? Look at all that freaking new money. Look at the number of contracts. Holy crap. And they're actually in a profitable spot, right? MSTR is 2.19% above the strike price on this. So I wouldn't call this bank brah, but we'll call it good brah. All right, here's the other 370. This expires July 11th. And they did not... Wait, did they add to this? No, they did not. All right. I'm just, again, I think with the two freaking synthetic strike prices being the same, I got to be honest, pain in the ass. That's why I asked him. I didn't really care about, I just, it's just a nuisance for me. But yeah, I'm sure there's obviously a reason for it. But whatever, who cares? Who cares? Stop complaining, Rod. All right, you're annoying. Go. Just cover the freaking funds. All right, I will. Here you go. All right, MSTR yesterday went down 2.41%. All right, that's interesting. MSTY went down with it, but not nearly as much. It went down 1.11%. So can you dig that, sucker? All right, so let's see what they did, what they closed out, what's going on here. But before that, IV, how you doing? Are you going down? Are you going up? Well, no movement? Yeah, no movement. Usually the update from the morning. Oh, no, it did go down. Oh, my God, it went down in a percent. Yesterday was 55.47. It now went down to 54.47. Well, that's a bunch of suck. But, what can we do, man? IV is the IV is the IV. IV is the IV is the IV. There we go. Very technical right there. All right. There's a hair. All right, here we go. What they closed yesterday? They closed the 400. All right, 400 strike price. It expired Friday. They paid 121. They got 420 credit, so you know what that means. Winner, chicken freaking dinner. They made $299,000 on that, sucker. All right, anything in gray we covered previously, but it's in the view because it's in the way. So we shall scroll. We shall scroll. They close anything else? Yeah, they closed these three suckers. 88 cents per share to close it. They made about $3 credit when they opened it. Again, this is a $400 strike price as well. How'd they win? Well, look at the price of MSTR, $378. So yeah, that's how they won. Because it's not really close enough to be worth a damn. They think, the time value obviously is worth a lot, 88 cents worth, but they won 106,000 plus 144,000 plus 225,000 for that one. So good job right there. And then they got 2,500 contracts on a 400. They paid 158 on that sucker. They made 575,000 on that one. So yeah, win, and another win for you. How about that? All right, new positions. What are they doing? Well, they're choosing expiration date for not this week, but next week. 6/13 is next Friday. Strike prices, they're sticking with more of the same. They pretty much just rolled to the same strike price, right? They rolled to the 400. They even have a 405 there. And again, it's only 5 to 7% out of the money, but guys, it is not. It's slim pickings out there. Look at this IV. I'm sure the options chain, is still busy as hell, but this is not good. I mean, you look at the annualized yield on these suckers, which I don't really cover as much because I still have not updated my formula, but I think this is accurate for this, through the next week. They vary from 51 to 66%, which is in line with the IV, so that makes sense. But again, I need to update the freaking annualized yield, but I just haven't because I suck. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the new trades. But check this out. I mean, this is pure freaking insanity. This is absolutely insane, and people are gonna be pissed off about this because they get pissed off about it because they're coming in late there and they're taking some of their distro, man. They're taking some of their money, But I got news for you guys. The declaration is declared on Monday. This increase in shares got nothing to do with what they're declaring. So let's get that out of the way. But anyway, what is the increase? 17,425,000 increase. Outstanding shares. That's an 8.52% increase, right? Assuming this formula is accurate. What was it picking up? 30 and 20. Yeah. What the hell are we doing? Yeah, V 130. Yeah, that works. W 130 divided by V. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Whatever. But yeah, look. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but the whales have joined. Some people are finding out about MSTY clearly, and they're buying bank, bruh. These people got loads and loads of money. It's not me, believe me, because I don't got that, you know? If I could buy 100 shares of MSTY, I'm like, yeehaw! These suckers are buying, man, it's nuts. All right, here's the recap. MSTY price, $22.19. MSTR price, $378.10. 30-day IV, 54.47%. Outstanding shares, 221,875,000. Outstanding income. Oh, snap-a-doo. They flipped a profit, 2.4 mil. That comes to a whopping distribution of cha-ching, a penny. Daily income, 0. Daily yield, 0.02%. And if you annualize that sucker, 6.1%. Sorry for the low, the weird voice, but it's only 6%. So we gotta go for a weak voice there. All right. So MSTR funds, how you doing? Oh, how you doing? Well, MSTR, we said it went down, right? It went down yesterday, 2.41%. MSTY went down 1.11%. Winter whooped that ass. It went up 2.45%, as it should, right? I feel bad. People always ask me about winter, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But obviously, opposite day, right? Opposite day for them. IMST, they went down 1.27%. So IMST beat MSTR, so that's good. MST, they went down 3.04%. So that's a lot. That's a lot. But again, they got leverage. They got more leverage. MS2, newest fund ever. But for them, I added, obviously they didn't launch on the 3rd, but I put the open price from the 4th on the 3rd. The open price was 25. They closed at 24.51. So MS2 went down 1.96%. I also need to update this formula because I have to add yet another factor. There must be an easier way. Google Sheet nerds, please let me know. Like, is there a way to say, okay, if this, pick this, right? Or do I have to do all these formulas to, because I have so many ifs to figure out who's the winner. But I don't know if anyone's listening that knows Google Sheets, but please let me know. Anyway, reaction. What the hell's an X? X dividend date, baby. Today is X dividend date. So you will see MSTY drop by $1.47 or whatever the heck they declared today, plus or minus movement in the underlying. So brace yourself. Some may call it a discount. Some may say, what the hell's happening? And some may say, blah, 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 blah. Group D declares when? 27 days away on July 2nd? What? A holiday week there. So, so it'll probably pay the freaking next week. They should declare on the 1st, if you think about it, right? Declare the 1st, X the 2nd, pay the 3rd. Obviously, the 4th is a holiday. They should, but they didn't. All right, but whatever. Let's move on. Who cares? Who cares about the future right now? Let's focus here. Oh, crap. What did they declare? 147? I didn't add it. Damn it. MSTY, where are you? 1.4707. 1.4707. Okay. Also, this number, we said it yesterday, this is locked in now. So this, I will clear it, right? This is no longer a formula, but instead you plug in the locked in number. It's not going to change. It's the same as the below number, 221,875,123. Because as of yesterday's closing, whoever owned it qualifies. So the outstanding shares that qualify for the distribution is just that. So when all's said and done, after that big jump, we technically made an income of $112 per share. They paid out $1.47 per share. So total distribution that they're paying out today, at least, again, these are my numbers. Who the hell knows if they're accurate? I'd like to think they are, but who will see. Total distribution paid $326 million, all right? How much did they make? $249 million. So this will bring a debit carry forward of $77,140,000. So some of you kept saying we had a credit carry forward last month, bro. Well, just don't forget the debit carry forwards, all right? You know, this means they overpaid, right? They paid more than what they made, overall, if you think about it. So the overall, there is no leftover to be paid this fiscal year, at least, again, based on my data. But what the hell do I know? I'm a guy recording on a phone in a garage, so take that for what it's worth. All right, so that's the update on the newest payment. All right, so refresh. We got a new cycle. Let's go. Synthetic income. No income. Sorry. No income there. It's a loss of 122 mil. No, weekly income. Yeah, that's right, baby. We flipped it. 2.4 mil. All right, so technically we made it 1 penny per share. Some may consider that bank, brah. Some people actually receive a penny per share and they're happy. Imagine that. Anyway, what does the Rotometer say? Well, the Rotometer is actually working now, but it's a joke. So we will skip that 7% yield and we will move on to the IV. IV being around 54%, payment based on that 93 cents. So again, as of now, we would consider the next payment around 93 cents, which, yes, many would be pissed off. But look at the IV, man. What do you want? What do you want, brah? Unless we get some synthetic income here. We need something to happen. All right. Here we go. MSTR Holdings. Again, I'm trying to go as fast as I can without missing anything. They're obviously in a much better spot. The lowest strike price for MSTY, $3.80. It's 0.5% out of the money. What a day. What a difference a day makes, man. Good job. Well, we still got 2 trading days, so don't get your hopes up, but we'll see. We'll see. The next one obviously is a 382.50, 1.16% out of the money, and so on and so forth. So they got various strike prices. They are what? Scattered-a-doo. So they are 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6% out of the money for this week. Again, those are the contracts that expire this week. The ones that you see in red, they are 5 to 7% out of the money, but they are for next week. And we don't care about next week. The freaking holdings, man, they're still, like, why is there a call up here? I don't know, to annoy the crap out of me, whatever. So anything in orange is a call. Anything in pink is a lady. Is there a gold digger? Probably. There's pretty... Who's the gold digger? The 420 and the 390, right? MSTR price is 378. They expire June 20th. So you know what? You take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a traveling friend indeed. No, she's a gold digger. Way over time. That dig on me. Oh, can you hear me now? All right, for real, what the hell you doing, man? What are you doing? Why are you singing? You're annoying the crap out of me. Why? Because the pink, the gold diggers, they want, we got to settle these at some point. We got to settle these by June 20th. These puts are pink. It's the ladies. We got to pay the lady, right? Pay the lady, just like Storage Wars, right? Pay the lady. We got to pay them 143 mil and 32 mil for the put as of right now. Oh my goodness, the 390 and the 420. Are they gold diggers? They are officially claimed gold diggers. So MSTR, you better move, man. You better move, or you got me singing every day. Do you want that? Do you really want that? But anyway, let's move on. We talked about those trades. There's the dudes down here. It's all three of them. The other dude's mixed up in the gold digger mess. I feel bad for him. But here we go. All right. By the way, guys, I mean, check this crap out. I was like, oh man, they're going to be under 4 bill again because of ex-dividend date. But no. How much did they pay out? Where is it? 326 million. All right. So, well, technically, I guess they were at 4.5. So they still would have stayed above 4. They lost, the cash. Just think if the cash dropped by 326 billion, you barely even freaking notice, man, in this fund. But the fund is still at 4.5 billion because all of the new money that came in. But whatever. The NAV is 2066. The trade price is 2219. So the gap is the ex-dividend date, obviously. That shows $1.53. I believe they're paying $1.47. So whatever. It is what it is. It's dropped by ex-dividend date. And enjoy the quote-unquote discount. Maybe it's a discount if MSTR actually goes down today. So you get the double discount. You get the ex-dividend dip and you get the MSTR dip. All right, synthetic-wise, are any of these worth freaking money? Well, the 390 and the 420 are negative, so we'll skip those because we sang to them, or we sang for them, or we sang against them, or we just sang. And then the 370s, how they doing? Well, they're all right. Nothing worth saving. They're not really saving us. Another hair. But synthetic contracts total to be 122,000. Total contracts of them sold, about 92% of them at 112,000. And still no credit call spreads, probably because, it's too expensive. It's not worth it. I don't know. They'd have to go tighter in strike price. They probably don't want to do that. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't bite them in the ass, right? IMST, I didn't see any movement on IMST, so no change for them. As far as what expires this week, and that's all I'm going to cover for this right now. They have a 395 and a 405, 4 and 7% out of the money. As far as MST for expiring this week, what do they got? Just the bottom one, a 382.50, 1.16% out of the money. So, not bad. Questions? Unfortunately, I have a decent amount, so let me cover these real quick. First one, many people asking me, can they buy Bitcoin treasuries instead of U.S. treasuries in their holdings? Again, on the spaces yesterday, I did ask Jay and Mike. Pretty much the answer is yes, but they would make that another fund. They can't do it on the MSTY fund. Again, because it completely changes the prospectus. They change one of the covered call ETFs. They typically try to do it on all the others because, again, it affects YieldMax. YieldMax invests in all of the similar covered call ETFs. But if they start something that says buy Bitcoin treasuries, as the holding position, the collateral, right? That's going to be a new fund. So it would not be in MSTY. That's the answer, in case that's what you guys were wondering. But doesn't mean it won't happen, right? Also, as collateral, the holding companies, the clearinghouses or whatever you call them, will they be okay with them holding their money in Bitcoin treasuries, right? Are they going to have a safety net? Because we saw one of them, they require cash. They don't even want U.S. treasuries. So imagine Bitcoin treasuries. They'll probably be like, hell no. But anyway, so that's the answer to that question. Here's another question by Ryan Dearson, whatever. Video question. When does MS2 start trading? I believe it's weekly as well. Well, you got your answer in the beginning of the video. They just launched yesterday. And yes, they pay weekly. Up next, Brian Bork. Video question, or maybe to Scott and Jay question, with the IV contracting across the markets and premium drying up, is there anything else these funds can do to find an edge aside from going tighter on strikes? This seems to be where the split personality of covered call ETFs shows up. We want the steady increase to make premiums, but that's in part of what shrinks the IV, as we need those bigger swings to make the premium higher. I mean, this is really... I don't know how to answer this question, but it's a great question, but again, they're limited to what the prospectus allows them to do. So going tighter in the strike prices is pretty much what they can do. Obviously, you saw the other day, quick buy call, quick profit, boom. Things like that obviously are helping out the fund income-wise. So, outside of that, I don't think there's much else they can do because, again, they're limited to what the prospectus allows them to do. But yeah, funds like ULTI and others that have maybe a little more flexibility. I don't know, man. And I don't think they can answer that either because they, I don't know. But again, that's a tough question. It's a good question. But, we'll see based on what the trades do, right? We'll follow their trades, see what they do differently, if anything, and then we'll go from there. But hopefully the IV does recover. Here's the last video question, Omen4229. Have any YieldMax funds decided to change how they distribute like ULTI did? Well, I don't know when you say any YieldMax funds, but they do have a whole bunch of weekly funds, GPTY, Chippity Doodah, who else they have? LFGY, they got a whole bunch. So yes, they have a bunch that do like ULTI on the weeklies. The other ones, they don't have to because, again, the covered call ETFs, A, B, C, and D, they pay every other week. So there's, it kind of works out weekly, which was, that was a really smart move by them, by the way. And, again, I don't see them ever changing any of those individually to weekly because then they'll have to change all of them probably. And then, again, they got YieldMax and YMAG at weeklies. So I don't know. Hopefully that answered most of your questions. But yeah, I'm going to have to move on from here, 2 at a time. All right, so let's get to the rest of the trades. TSLY. They had a trade. Time check. Yeah, I suck. Anyway, TSLY, how you doing? Buy to close, 11 cents. Ooh, yeah, they won that trade. Buy to close, 11 cents. All right, short, sell, put, buy, call, sell, put. All right, new money? Sure. All right, so basically, yeah, they won their trades, but unfortunately, Tesla has been on the downward. So obviously, yeah, of course they're going to win their trades, but at the same time, T to the S to the L to the Y, it going down. It going down. All right, so the newer position. Wow, same week. They're going for the same week. I like it. I like it like that. This one too, same week. So we'll check out the new strike prices, and we'll look at all that fun stuff on the spreadsheet. All right, so how did Tesla do yesterday? Not good. They went down 3.68%. Tesla went down pretty much with it, 3.35%. So let's see what we got over here. We got synthetics. They actually added a new synthetic. Those 200 contracts, those 200 stinking contracts, that's it, 200. But they did use it to create a new synthetic. So welcome 335 to the synthetic party. The other two, the 320 and the 340, they are, they're doing... Well, the 320 is doing well. The 340, it's not quite a gold digger, but it's slightly underwater. All right. All right. Sorry, water break. For the rest of the week, the contracts that expire this week, black font, lowest strike price 6.16% of the money. That's not bad. 2 trading days. Highest strike price 15.95% of the money. They're set up good. They're set up nicely. I don't see a worry. The value of the TSLY fund still over $1 billion though, 1.1 bill. The NAV is 895, trade price 896. Synthetic is in the negative. 30-day IV, 62%. IV estimate based on that, 43 cents. Income estimate so far for TSLY's 4-week cycle, $1.44. That's nice. That is a 208% yield based on the current price, and Group A declares next week. So stay tuned this Sunday morning for the Group A guesstimates. Up next, your boy Nvidia. They did have a trade, I think. All right, buy the close call. Yikes. They paid $331. That's never a good thing. Why is it so expensive? Well, look at the strike price, $139. Look at the closing price, $141. So, yeah, they were in the money. And they rolled that sucker into next week. They chose a 147, 3% out of the money. So, let's go take a look. Let's take a look. All right, how did Nvidia do yesterday? Well, just chilling. They went up 0.49%. Nvidia went up 0.44%. That's an 88% capture. Good enough, right? Good enough, bruh. All right, how's their synthetics doing? They got a 120 and a 130. Nvidia's priced at 141, so they're doing well. But they expired July 18th, baby. July 18th, in the middle of the summer. Be sweating my ass off in the garage by then. Roddy the Cricket should be here. It should be a grand old party. So, are you ready? Boo, boo. What happened? What in tarnation? Well, the lowest strike price, 139. 2% in the money. All right, is what it is, man. Then they got a 140, 1.35% in the money. Then they got 141, 0.65% in the money. Well, that sucks. And then they got what? 4, 5 other strike prices, but it only goes as high as 2.87% on the money. So they are scatteredy crap, right? They are scatteredy do, but they are, unfortunately, most of them are in the money. We'll see how it plays out, though. Maybe Nvidia go down, but who knows? Anything in red, obviously, those are for next week's expiration. All right, the value of the Nvidia fund, if you care, is 1.5 bill. The NAV is 1605, trade price 1604. Synthetic is worth $1.99 per share on the paper. 30-day IV, 35%. IV estimate based on IV, 43 cents. Income estimate, 142. Sucker! That's 115% yield if they actually paid that out. Group B declares when? June 18th, 13 days away. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Did CONY have trade? No. All right. The next one to have trade is MSTY. All right, Coneheads, I am sorry, but you don't have trades. No action for you. What did you do to your coin? All right, coin went down 1.14% yesterday. CONY went down 0.62%. Good job, CONY. That's how you do. All right, their synthetic position is a 250 strike. Coin is at 256, so that's sitting pretty, and that expires on June 20. Cash that sucker out soon, right? Help us out a little bit. All right, let's check out our trades for this week. Everything expires this week, this Friday. Are you ready? Here we go. Lowest strike price, 255. That is 0.39% in the money. So it's going to be a nail biter. We got 2 trading days left. And they are pretty much scattered-y-doo-dah all the way up to a 277.50 strike, which is 8.4% out of the money. But we'll let it play out. We'll let it all play out. We'll see what happens, and then we'll cry or we'll celebrate, either or. The value of the CONY fund is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 802, trade price 801. Synthetic on the paper. Hey, it's worth something, 20 cents, whatever. 30-day IV of coin, 51%. IV estimate based on that, 32 cents. Income estimate, 9 cents. Whoopee freaking do. All right, Group C declares when? Well, they got 20 days, good, until June 25th. So hopefully we can make bank brah by then. SMCY had a trade, remember? SMCY had a trade. So we got to go back again. Back and forth. All right, so about to close put. What the heck? They're closing a put? They're closing what? The 45 strike. And by the close call. All right, so forced closure, this means people sold out of a fund, right? You see when they buy, call, sell, put, right? That's when they add to the fund. When you see, when they close the put, and they sell the call, that means they're getting out of the synthetic, right? Sometimes they roll the synthetic, sometimes they just close out a position. And when they have to just close out of a position, typically that would result in an outstanding share decrease. So maybe people sold out of MSTY yesterday or the day before or whatever. So the forced closure on the call, did they win? They paid 46 cents, looks like a win. Buy to close here, what the heck is this? 251, damn. Well, they didn't win that one. That was 4% in the money. Ouch. And they rolled that sucker into next week. A 48 strike, 8% out of the money. So they won one. They won the forced one, but not the other one. All right, anyway, SMCY. Wow, okay. They went up 2.13% yesterday. SMCY. I'm sorry, SMCY, but this is my reaction. All right, they only went up 0.91%. That sucks, man. 42% capture. That is not what we want. All right, the synthetic position that they hold is a 45, as we saw, right? It expires June 20th. SMCI is at 44, so it's essentially at the money. Would not be too concerned with that yet at the moment. And then they're obviously, they're in the money. The lowest strike is 42.50, and that's 3.69% in the money. They did close out. I forget which one they closed, but obviously they closed out one that was doing some damage yesterday. And this one's going to do some damage. But at least they have 2 other strikes that are still out of the money, but barely 1 and 3% out of the money. That's for this week. And again, anything in red is for next week. So let's stay tuned for let's keep an eye on SMCY, man. They may, well, yesterday they certainly were. Capity-doo-da. All right, so anyway, the value of the SMCY fund, 176 mil. The NAV, 1920. The trade price, 2077. But why the big gap? Well, today's ex-dividend date, because they're part of Group D with MSTY. Synthetic bailout, no, again, nothing, negative. 30-day IV, though, for them, 70%. IV estimate based on that, that's $1.12. Income estimate, I didn't update that yet. I'll update that probably on to Friday, tomorrow, or the next day's video. Usually the Saturday video, I'll get that squared away. The next declaration date is July 2nd, 27 days away. All right, PLTY did not have a trade, but should we double check? Probably, because we don't trust ourselves. All right, no trade. All right, so good. So we're done with this file. Can move on from that. All right, Palantir, they went down. They had a rough day. Wow, they went down 2.43%. And PLTY whooped ass. They only went down 1.68%. Good job, PLTY. All right, PLTY synthetic is a 115. That expires July 18th. Sitting pretty because Palantir is at 130. Now, how about their trades? Are they going to win this week? Are they going to win their weekly covered calls? Let's see. Well, the lowest of the lowest strike price is a 130. It's 0.01% in the money. So if Palantir stays flat, great. Stay flat till tomorrow at the close. Perfect. All right, what else they got? They got a 135, 136, 137, 139. The highest strike of them all, 139, obviously, 6.91% out of the money. So they are kind of scattered, you do. Again, this one's going to be a close one. Every week is close with all these, man. It's always a battle, man. That's the beauty of options. But again, a lot of people, they pay YieldMax because they don't want to deal with this. Like, they want YieldMax to deal with that headache. They just buy the fund and they let it do its thing, you know? But here we go. What's the value of PLTY? Half a bill still. 515 mil. The NAV, 64.99. Trade price, 65.07. Guys, just a reminder, this fund launched at $50. They have made several distributions, and they are still above 60. That's insane. Again, borderline GOAT in the making here. PLTY, look at their synthetic, man. On paper, it's worth $796. It's crazy. 30-day IV of Palantir, 55%. IV estimate based on that, 278. Income estimates in the negative. But again, once they cash out some of that synthetics, then we could be like, cha-ching, bank bro. All right, Group B declares not next week, but the week after, 13 days away on June 18th. All right, so that ends the coverage on the YieldMax funds. Hopefully that helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions related to the YieldMax funds or what I cover, please let me know. But you have to, if you want it covered in the video, you have to type video question in front of the question. And then at the end of the day, I'll filter typically by video question, assuming you know how to spell, of course. And then again, I will pretty much, answer every question. Unless it's out of control, then I'll have to stop. But so far, so good. A couple a day, a few a day, that's fine. But yeah, if you get confused on anything, I know there's a lot of new subscribers, so welcome and thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. But also, after what I'm doing right now is I'm going to cover my options trades. So what I decided to do is, along with the daily coverage of YieldMax and whatever else I talk about, I also add my options plays for the previous day at the end of the video. So for those of you that are leaving because you don't care about my options, thank you for watching. For those of you staying, thank you very much. Let's get to it. MSTY, I should have sold a call yesterday on MSTY. I didn't do it. I didn't even think, well, number one, way too busy yesterday. Number two, today's ex-dividend date. So obviously it's going to drop even more. I know that's always baked in, technically, the options, premium and all that. But, is it really, though? How do they even know what they're paying? So, I think I lost my chance for now. If MSTR decides to jump back up, maybe I'll sell a call. But for now, unfortunately, these are probably going to be a buy and hold for now. But whatever. I should have sold a call yesterday at 23. I didn't do it, but my bad. All right, so TSLY yesterday, they went down. So I sold a put. Why the hell not, right? I sold a put that expires next week. TSLY at the time was at $13.86. I sold a put with a strike price of $11. That is considered 20.63% out of the money. It closed for the day at 19% out of the money, so that's okay. The delta on this trade was 0.11, so well below 0.2. Premium per share I got was 18 cents per share. Multiply that times 100. That's $18 in income, which is an annualized yield of 66%. So for those of you new to options, so basically what I did is I shelled out $1,100. All right? Because when you sell a put with a strike of $11, you basically have to cover, assuming you choose one contract, 100 shares times the strike price. And that's $1,100. So you need that cash in your account or the margin, or you need the collateral. So now I have $1,100 on hold, right? They're holding that. And in return, I got $18. Again, and once I annualize that, assuming, based on a daily, various calculations, it comes to about 66%. So to me, yeah, I lent out $1,100 until next Friday. And based on that, that's a 66% yield. You don't get that money in a freaking bank, right? That's hard to get that money. So this is why I trade options. But what's the risk though? Well, the risk is Tesla could keep going down and down and down, and it can go under my strike price by next Friday. And if it does, my $1,100, that's gone, and I'll have to buy the shares at $11. Okay, that's the quote unquote downside, right? But if it stays above $11, which right now it closed at $13.72. If it stays above $11 by next Friday, then guess what? I get my $1,100 back. And either way, in either scenario, I still keep my premium of $18, which is, guess what? Too sweet. All right. So what else? What else happened yesterday? Did I close? Yeah, I closed positions. Maybe that was the day before, right? Or is that TNA? No, I did. Yeah, I just didn't mark it. No, there it is. Okay. I also yesterday, I had a call the day prior. I opened a call on 6/3, right? I just want to show you this real quick. I closed it the day after. Why? Well, I sold a call at 19 cents. TSLL was tanking. This call that I got a $35 credit for, it was only worth 13 cents. So after one day, I decided to pay that 13 cents, paying to close the position. Because why? Well, I got 62% of the profit in one trading day. All right. And look at the yield on that, 354%. So, because why the hell not, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in the market. So whenever I can get, at least my rule of thumb, more than 50%, depending on, of course, the expiration length, more than 50% of the profit in one day, I'll typically buy to close it. And I got 62% of the profit for that call. So again, I paid about 13 cents per share, but in return, yesterday, I sold a put. I made another 18 cents. So technically, yesterday, I made 5 cents or $5 on TSLL. So that added to, for the week, it's 71. I think the formula's right. What does it go down to? 102. Yeah, it's still pulling up. So yeah, not enough to hit my goals yet, but we're getting there. But anyway, yeah, I freed up another 100 shares by closing that call. So if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 active calls, which is 500 shares. And I have how many total shares of TSLL? 700. So I can still sell calls on another 200 shares. We'll see how today goes. TSLL looks red pre-market. So that being said, I probably won't sell calls. All right. So for yesterday, for TNA, they were kind of green. Were they? Yeah, I didn't buy to close any of TNA. All right. So yesterday, all I did, I sold a call on TNA. And it was at 30.63. This was what I do. I sold aggressive call actually, because the market was red. Probably a bad move now if the market's going to be green today. But I sold a call because why? Because I want premium. I got to get income in the account. So again, aggressive degen play, 2-day expiration. I sold a call, $31 strike price, and I'll deal with the repercussions after the fact. And 1.21% out of the money. Obviously, not the norm. Delta, well above, double the 0.2. It's at 0.42. What premium did I get? I got 57 cents or $57. Is this worth the risk? Maybe, maybe not. But again, I have to play it slightly aggressive to also achieve my income goals. But worst case scenario, if TNA does go above 31 by Friday, I'm just going to keep rolling this as long as I can. And worst case, again, the shares will get assigned, but I'll get new ones and we'll just keep going. We'll keep the wheel going. We can't play scared. We got to be aggressive at some point and make some money. So that's why I did that. So now I have how many calls open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500 shares with calls, 600 total shares owned. So I can sell calls on 100 more shares today. So we'll see what happens. All right, total income from TNA. Let's check the formula. This goes up to P91. All right, so that's picking up properly. What's my income? It's $106 on TNA so far for the week. So my weekly income overall is $177. I didn't calculate what my MSTY distribution will be. Was it 147, right? So let's go to here. June, the dividend. So we'll do equals, I think it was 147.07. How many? I don't have. I have 500 shares of MSTY times 1.4707, right? Okay, so let me double check that actually. 1.4707. Yep, okay. My memory works kind of. All right, so that's the total dividend. I do have that breakdown here, so you can see what my weekly goals should be. Premium from MSTY so far 0 for June, so I'll leave that blank. Mortgage, obviously, $1,300. Well, actually, I'm just going to copy this. This is all formulated, I think. All right, so mortgage is $1,300. So if I take the mortgage, I multiply it by 2, I subtract out the dividend from MSTY, then I get $1,865. That's my goal for this month to earn in options. So then I take the $1,865 and I divide that by 4 weeks in June, right? 466. So wow, that I am not near that target. I need $466 per week to hit my goal. And right now I'm at 177. So you see why I did a slight degen play. So don't be surprised tomorrow morning on the video if you see another degen play. And it depends what position I'm in, right? Like right now my cash is kind of low, so my aggressive plays are going to go on the call side. All right? Because I own more shares. I own a lot of shares. So if they get called away and I get the cash back, that's not a bad thing. Or if I was cash heavy, I would go aggressive on the put side. Again, hopefully that makes sense. But either way, I'm going to do what I can to hit those goals, and then we'll take it from there. But again, I screwed up. I should have sold a call on MSTY when I had the chance, and I didn't. But get what you get, and you don't get upset. But that's the update on my options trading journey. Hopefully that helped. All right, no questions here, right? Okay, so we're good. All right, so that's the end of the video. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, please come back tomorrow and I will try my best. I promise. All right, I promise I will try to entertain you tomorrow. If I can't, then I don't know what to do. But outside of that, what else we got? If you enjoy this content, we said hit the like button. We said it way back when in the video. But in case you missed it or in case you forgot, please hit the like button. All right, any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Outside of that, we got to get to the keywords so I can get my ass to work. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. Keyword, sucker. Keyword today, MS2, baby. MS2, why not? They just launched. Let's give them a shout out. Rec Shares MS2 Fund. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts. So you can either type MS2 or just give me your thoughts on the fund. If you think it's worth the damn, are you gonna buy it, or are you just Misty Mafia for life, right? And you're not a trader. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. So like I said, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it to me and others, you have to type down in the comments below whatever I say the keyword is. The keyword today is MSII. That's technically the ticker. Or we call it MS2, or we call it MSII, or we call it RecShares MSII. I don't know. Call it whatever you want. But that's the keyword. So either type that in or type your feelings about this new ETF that RecShares just launched. All right? Sound good? Great. I had fun. Hopefully you guys did. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And for real, guys, I appreciate you all. I thank you for watching me, now, yesterday, tomorrow. I love it, man. I'm going to keep this going as long as I can. So yeah, thank you for watching again, and have a great day. Peace.